You're watching Spectrum Flashback TV. It's classic television.
The Defense Commissary Agency contributes a lot to the European community. Check it out. Renovations, new stores, new checkout systems that will bring credit and debit cards to all stores. Not to mention all the jobs they've created for Americans in Europe. DECA Europe. Quality first, people always.
Physical activity can help you control your weight by burning extra calories. Even after your workout, you continue to burn calories at an increased rate for up to several hours. Enjoy the exercise afterburn. Include physical activity in your weight control program.
Review your will every year, and every time a significant change happens in your life, update your will. Questions about wills? Contact your legal assistance office for help.
Flashback trivia for Buck Rogers. Can you guess what year Buck's ship was launched? Stand by for the answer.
Once upon a time, the worst thing the mailman brought to your doorstep was junk mail. Nowadays, something far worse could appear: mail bombs. Sure, they're rare, but it pays to take precaution. Carefully examine your mail. If you don't know the sender, notice oil stains, protruding wires, or foil, don't open it. If the package comes from an unknown foreign address and says things like private or personal, don't open it. When in doubt, contact your community law enforcement office. While incidents are rare, why take a chance? Don't open it.
Euroguide, things to do and see in Europe. There are no shortage of celebrations planned for the millennium. In Perugia, Italy, jazz fans should plan early for the Umbria Jazz Winter Party going on December 29th through the 5th of January. St. Sylvester's Festival in Portugal is a religious celebration, December 30th through January 2nd. If you're looking to dance at a formal gala, then the Opera Ball in Budapest, Hungary is where you'll need to be New Year's Eve.
Around the services. I'm Army Sergeant Heather Ann Bozeman. If you're in the Navy, would like a say in your next duty assignment, earn almost $400 a month in special duty assignment pay, and get sea duty credit for up to 2 years, you should see your recruiting detailer to sign up as a volunteer recruiter. Navy officials say recruiting duty can be a career-enhancing job for sailors who excel. Recently, the staff at Aerospace Basic course were the students rather than the teachers. Retired General Ronald Fogelman, former Air Force Chief of Staff, taught the course he is credited with suggesting. The course is designed to help new Air Force officers and select civilians in the Air Force understand their roles as airmen who understand what aerospace capabilities contribute to warfighting along with the other services. That's a 1-minute look around the services. I'm Army Sergeant Heather Ann Bozeman.
Flashback trivia answer for Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers' ship, which looked remarkably like our current-day space shuttle, was launched back in 1987, before lasers, draconians, and robots, and all that other neat stuff. Now back to Flashback TV on Spectrum.
This is Spectrum, a service of AFRTS.
Look right up. I know everything about you.
Looks like a military haircut.
Hey, soldier. Right sideburn shaved higher than the left. Yeah, you, lefty. Come here a second. Buckle mark on belt. You've lost a little weight recently.
Little things can tell a lot about us. And that's why, when it comes to military operations, it's important to think OPSEC all of the time.
Some people feel they have to go to extremes to stop smoking. But going to extremes isn't necessary when you decide to quit. Be prepared, especially for the first 2 difficult weeks of not smoking. Change your routine. Exercise, avoid smokers, and remember, the urge to start smoking again is temporary. It will pass. Knowing ways to get through the first couple of weeks of not smoking can keep you from having to go to extremes.
Captain Archer.
Mount Shasta in Northern California towers above the beautiful man-made Shasta Lake. The Shasta Dam, built in 1948, provides 20 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity each year. In this region of heavy winter rains and arid summers, Lake Shasta provides valuable flood control and irrigation. But the vacationers who flock here each summer are not especially interested in electrical power or flood control. They see this vast lake with its 365 miles of shoreline simply as a place to have a good time in the California sun. And they are not disappointed.
Births, weddings, graduations. These are important moments in our lives. And for almost every milestone in life, there's an important personal record, too. Birth certificates, diplomas, marriage licenses, insurance papers, military records. Safeguard your personal records. They're part of your most precious memories.
A Papa Bear, a Mama Bear, and a Baby Bear. One day...
This kind of reading can mold young lives.
And a small bowl for Baby Bear.
And this kind of reading can save young lives. It's important to read and understand the manufacturer's instructions before using a child safety seat. Following the instructions can make the difference of a lifetime.
You're watching Buck Rogers in the 25th century on Spectrum Flashback TV. Flashback trivia question for Buck Rogers. Who discovered Buck's ship floating in space? I'll have the answer in just a minute.
I'd like to send a special holiday greeting and express a heartfelt thanks to the AFRTS associates supporting contingency operations around the world. Just like the troops you support, you deploy at a moment's notice, endure the same austere conditions, and sacrifice the comforts of home and family to ensure exchange support wherever our troops go. To all those associates who will spend this holiday season supporting deployed troops, thank you for fulfilling the AFRTS mission and for serving those who serve.
USERA is Y2K compliant. USERA Crisis Action Centers have been established and will be manned to handle any situation. Any questions can be directed to our Y2K hotline at BSN 1999.
You may be able to prevent a suicide. The USERA Suicide Prevention Program provides training on suicide risk identification, crisis intervention, and referral procedures. For more information, contact your chaplain's office.
Sicily, July 11, 1943. Under cover of hundreds of bombers and fighters, Allied invasion forces took possession of 100 miles of Sicily's
in
coastline.
Vietnam, February 25th, 1967. The U.S. has launched what may become the biggest operation.
Bosnia and Herzegovina, May 17, 1997. Stabilization Force troops confiscated.
Since World War II, we've been by your side. We've gone where you've gone, while bringing you all the news from home. We're Stars and Stripes.
1 out of every 4 babies is not fully immunized. Your child could get a deadly disease. Get all your babies' shots before age 2. You gave them life. Protect it.
Flashback trivia answer for Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Buck's ship, launched in 1987, was discovered floating around in space by the Draconians. Ooh, sounds scary, huh? Let's get back to Buck Rogers in the 25th century on Flashback TV.
Town request comes from Sergeant Michael Lopez. He's currently deployed to Escon Village, Riyadh, with the 5th Battalion of the 7th Air Defense Artillery Brigade, and he's from Puerto Rico. I'm Air Force Staff Sergeant Kelly Lawless Foster. This has been your Space A weather forecast from the Air Mobility Command.
You know, being a parent on TV is pretty easy, but out there, parents have to deal with some tough problems like drugs, violence, and peer pressure. If you or your kids are dealing with problems like these, call the Boys Town National Hotline. You'll talk to people who understand and can really help. That's the Boys Town National Hotline because there's no script for being a parent.
This is Spectrum Flashback TV, classic television. Some things are worth repeating.